On this episode, we tear through Ed's recent Big Thailand quiz, discussing the questions and finding the answers.
So if you've ever wondered how well you'd do in a general quiz on contemporary Thailand, you'll love this episode of the Bangkok Podcast.
Sawadee krap, this is the Bangkok Podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who came to Thailand in 2001 and estimates that I've only tried about 60% of the fruits and vegetables that I see in the average food market, which is a bit of a fail.
And I'm Ed Knutz, an American who came to Thailand on a one-year teaching contract over 25 years ago. Fell in love with convincing myself I'm eating really exotic Thai food when it's really just rice soup, so I never left.
Ooh, fancy.
You know, if something has a foreign name, then it's automatically exotic and cool.
Yeah, right. We were just talking about Haagen-Dazs, which doesn't even mean anything.
I didn't know that. I never heard that before.
Yeah, it's just a gibberish word that sounds exotic and European. So the guy was like, ooh, I can make triple the money on this stuff.
So it tastes better.
Yeah, it is pretty good though.
All right, we want to give a big thanks to all of our patrons who support the show. Patrons get every episode a day early, behind-the-scenes photos of our interviews, a heads up to send questions to upcoming guests, and access to our Discord server to chat with me, Greg, and other listeners around the world. But best of all, patrons also get an unscripted, uncensored bonus episode every week where we riff on current events and Bangkok topics. On this week's bonus show, we chatted about Greg's latest nerdy craft creation, a very detailed book nook diorama of Yawarat from a company called Anvarin, some thoughts on my visit to a surprisingly open and laid-back debate on my university campus with the candidates for prime minister, which was very interesting, but sadly all in Thai, and Greg's visit to a new speakeasy opened by an old friend that just happens to be in the exact same townhouse that I used to live in over 20 years ago on Sukhumvit Soi 1. To learn how to become a patron and get all this good stuff, plus full access to over 800 bonus and regular back episodes, click the support button at the top of our website.
Did you ever hide anything in your house, like behind the walls or something, like a secret compartment? Maybe it's still there.
That's a good idea. I got to think about that. Maybe I did do that and then forgot.
You know, I'm going to tell a totally tangent story here, but years and years ago when me and my buddy were like in grade 7, we got some old like Playboy magazines and stuff, and we hid them in the roof. Like, he had a drop roof.
Genius.
In the bathroom, and we hid them up inside the roof.
Genius.
So, we were like 14, and then we were like early into our 20s, like 22, 23 years old, like long in college and moved out. My mom and his mom were friends, and then we were all at the house, and we were like, I wonder if those are still there. We went in, and sure enough, we pulled out these old, like, dusty-ass Playboy magazines that were like
classic.
12 years old. Yeah. Our mothers were horrified, but they thought it was hilarious.
Genius.
And also, don't forget, if you are out and about in Bangkok and see a Bangkok Podcast sticker, take a picture. Send us 3 pictures of 3 different stickers, and we'll send you a gift. Aww. Okay, this episode is a spiritual sequel of sorts to a recent episode we did, specifically episode 27, where Ed talked about teaching a class to his students called Contemporary Thailand. And in this episode, we linked to a 50-question quiz that Ed gave his students that covered geography, politics, media, law, finance, civics, and demographics, among many other topics. It was a really great quiz, to be honest, and was quite challenging. Happily, I scored 36 out of 50, which is about what I expected given my academic history. So we thought we'd go through the quiz to discuss the questions, learn the answers, and challenge ourselves to see how much we know about contemporary Thailand. Now, like I said, there are 50 questions here, so that's quite a lot, and we are going to go through these like a fat kid through a bag of Smarties, to use an old saying from my youth. But so take note, if you want to take the quiz first and come back to the episode for the answers, you'll find a link in the show notes. But with that out of the way, Ed, what do you think about me just sort of going through the questions? I'll tell you what I guessed, and we can just quickly discuss it as we burn through it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's burn through it. I put the quiz together, obviously with the help of AI. I curated it, and like you said, I wanted to make it broad, and I specifically wanted some gimmies in there. So we can debate about what was gimme or not a gimme.
Yeah.
And then, I wanted the bulk of them to be medium and then with a few hard ones in there. So I think, to be honest, I don't think a stranger could get 30. It's like I'm guessing a true newbie would probably get 20. Maybe using some common sense, or if they happen to have some geography knowledge.
Yeah, I think so.
So anything like 30 and above, I think, is quite respectable. It means you're a Thai file to some extent, and anything over 40 is you're getting into expertise level.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my students, I collected the results of my students. A lot of my students who are Thai, but 18 or 19, a lot of them got 30 to 35. So we talked about this a little bit before. When you're a foreigner, if you're a dedicated expat, as we are with the podcast, we might know facts and details even more than Thai people do.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. I said there's probably Thai people living in Canada that know way more about Canada than I ever will.
Correct,
but
right.
Just living in a new place, there's a natural curiosity that bubbles up to the surface.
You become an expert on here's Charing Cross Road. This is the first road ever,
Yeah,
and Thai person's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. But I thought this was a great quiz. It was a very, very broad. It covered a ton of different areas. And
well, let's do it.
Let's start to go through it. And there's 50 questions, which is a lot. So we're going to tear through these.
We're going to blow through this.
All right. Number 1, how many sovereign countries share a direct land border with Thailand? I put 4.
Which is correct. Yeah, so this is this one was a gimme one. If you just think about it, it's Burma, Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia. And I was teasing my students, and I said in class, I was like, you guys don't realize you border China? And my students were like, what? What is it? Really? And I was like, no. I was like, no, you don't border China.
That's funny. Number 2. The World Bank classifies Thailand as which type of economy? Low income, lower middle income, upper middle income, or high income? And I put B, lower middle income.
Yeah, I think this one is also not too hard. The only thing you have to realize is that Thailand is not really poor. So I think there are some people who think, Thailand's a poor country, so they might pick low income. But as we have also talked about before, compared to the rest of the world, compared to Laos, Cambodia, a lot of other countries in Asia and Africa, and some in South America, Thailand is really somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Next one. In terms of urban primacy, Bangkok's population is currently estimated to be approximately how many times larger than Thailand's second largest city? 2 times, 5 to 9 times, 15 to 20 times, or 40 times. And I have to be honest, I don't even know what urban primacy means, but I put D, 15 to 20 times, and I thought that the second biggest city was probably Chiang Mai.
Yeah, so this one is a little bit tricky, and it in a way, it's not really a trick question, but it's a little bit tough because, these population questions depend on, are you counting the metro area, like the legal border? But I think the correct answer is supposed to be 5 to 9, and I think, again, it does depend on how you define the city, but I think the second biggest city is actually Korat or Nakhon Ratchasima.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh,
that's right. So I double checked this. Chiang Mai and Korat are very close in size, so it might even vary like in a few years. Like, so it's possible Chiang Mai was number 2 like 5 years ago or something. But the bottom line is Bangkok is, so they gave a range here. Bangkok is, so it's 5 to 9 times bigger. So that gives you like a leeway. It's not 15 or 40 times bigger.
Well, I thought Chiang Mai was only like 800,000 people or something like that, and Bangkok is 12 million, so that's why I put that. But.
Yeah, so Korat is bigger than that.
Okay.
So correct answer is 5 to 9.
Interesting. All right. Next one. Under the 2017 Constitution, how many seats are there in the House of Representatives? I have no idea, so I guessed B, 400.
Yeah, the correct answer is 500. I just taught this to my students, and 400 of those are based on districts, and 100 come from the political party. But maybe after we get the election results next week, we'll talk more about that.
Cool. All right. Where does Thailand rank in terms of total population size in the world? 5th, 20th, 45th, or 60th? And I put C, 45th.
Yeah, in terms of population, Thailand is actually a big country, so it's actually around 20th in the world. There's a lot of really small countries, 2 million, 3 million. Like there's island nations. So 66 million to 68 million is actually 20th in the world.
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought there was a lot more than that. Interesting. Okay. Which regional dialect spoken by approximately 15 million people in the Northeast is linguistically classified as a variant of the Lao language? The options are Pak Thai, Isan, Kamuang, and Central Thai. Now, you gave me shit about this one because I overthought this a lot,
Yes,
I think.
you overthought it. Christ.
Well, the one B is Isan. And I was thinking, like, is Isan a variant of the Lao language, or is it a region? And then I started overthinking it. I'm like, well, the original inhabitants of Thailand came down through southern China, and they were called Thai, T-A-I. So I guessed A, Pak Thai, because I didn't think that Isan was an actual dialect.
You thought way too much. Pasa Isan. Pasa Isan is very close to Lao. I don't know if it's literally exactly the same, but Pasa Isan, the obvious answer there, Mr. Greg.
Well, this is what happens when your brain is as big as mine.
That's right.
In my forehead. Okay, next one. Which body was granted the power to participate in the selection of the Prime Minister alongside the House of Representatives under the 2017 Constitution? The options are the Privy Council, the Senate, the Constitutional Court, or the Election Commission. And I put B, the Senate. I really didn't know.
Correct. That is the correct answer. And that's what stopped Peter from becoming prime minister in the last election. But thankfully, since then, the rules have changed. And in the new election, the Senate doesn't get a choice. So hopefully we'll get a different result. But under the original 27 Constitution, the correct answer was the Senate.
All right, cool. Okay, historically, Thailand's unemployment rate has been noted by economists for being extremely high, fluctuating wildly, extremely low, or higher than the world average. And I put C, extremely low, less than 1.5%.
Correct. Thailand is famous for having very low unemployment, and it's because there's a huge, what they just call an informal economy, and it means that there's a lot of low-level jobs. You've talked about how every Thai girl has an Instagram shop, and then there's a lot of family work. So if a guy, let's say, loses his job in a Bangkok company, he just goes back to his village and works for his cousin.
Right.
So officially, there's very low unemployment.
Right. And how do you define even being employed? Like, what does that mean? Right. So it's a complex question. Yeah. Okay. In what year did Thailand transition from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy? I think anyone who lives here should know this.
Give me.
The options are 1932, 1945, 1957, 1973. The answer obviously is A, 1932.
This is a good example of, my students got this one right, but a lot of them, they have to do the math. So they don't think in 1932. So this is one of the goals of my class, is so that they can freely discuss this. So they, now they memorize 1932. But if you ask an average Thai person, they would have to stop and do the math first.
Wouldn't they think of it in like Buddhist numbers, like 25,
yes.
whatever? Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So they would have to think to figure this out.
It's the same strategy I'm using to train you to use Celsius.
That's right.
Okay. Which major river serves as a significant portion of the natural border between Thailand and Myanmar to the west? Is it the Mekong, the Chao Phraya, the Salween, or the Mun? And I put C, the Salween.
I did not know this, but I guessed and got it right. So I know it wasn't the Mekong or the Chao Phraya.
Right.
But I did not know, like, the river to the west. I didn't know it, but I guessed and got it right.
I guess too. Is it Salween?
It is Salween.
Okay, because I've heard of that. Don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of the Mun. So
totally guessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In what year was the current Rattanakosin Kingdom and the Chakri Dynasty founded? 1732, 1767, 1782, and 1804. I put C, 1782, which I think is correct.
That is correct. Yeah. No, this one is, again, I wasn't sure whether it was 1767 or 1785, but I think the sacking of Ayutthaya was in between those, right?
Yeah, it was 1766, the sacking of Ayutthaya.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Thailand's ranking in the current Human Development Index is which category? Low, medium, high, or very high? And I put B, medium.
Yeah, so this one, initially, so when I first made this quiz, Thailand had nudged into the very high category, believe it or not.
Really?
But now the correct answer is actually C, high. And this gets back to this whole question of Thailand is just not as poor or undeveloped as people think relative to truly poor countries. So it's like this whole way to think about this is relatively speaking. And so relative to, again, really poor countries, Thailand is doing pretty well. So the correct answer is C, high.
Interesting. And when you throw in there the wealth gap in Thailand, I guess that skews the numbers all over again, but that's a different
That's
story.
right.
Yeah. Which Thai prime minister is associated with the introduction of the 30 baht universal healthcare scheme in 2002? Is it Prayut Chan-o-cha, Abhisit Wejchajiwa, Thaksin Shinawatra, or Chuan Lik Pai? And the answer obviously is Thaksin Shinawatra.
Correct. Now, the funny thing about this is that it actually previously was an idea of the Democrats, but Thaksin got the credit because he implemented it.
Aha! Classic politician move.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. What is Thailand's approximate nominal GDP per capita as of 2024? $3,500, $8,000, $15,000, or $25,000? I guessed, put C, $15,000. Correct
answer is 8,000. And I just knew this because, I had an unfair advantage because I was researching this issue for my class. And so the tricky thing about Thailand is the GDP per capita is not super high. It's only $8,000 per person. But the purchasing power of that is pretty high. So I think if you correct for what you can buy with the $8,000, it works out to be something closer to about $25,000. So,
wow.
So it's making $8,000 a year here is actually like making $20,000 to $25,000 in the U.S. So it's not. So again, it's not quite as bad as it seems. 8,000 seems really low. But in terms of what you can buy, it's not as low as it seems.
More bang for your buck. Or your
That's
bottom,
right.
so to speak. Nice. All right. Approximately what percentage of Thailand's population identifies as Buddhist? 65%, 80%, 94%, or 99%? And I guessed C, 94%. I thought like 5 or 6% was probably made up of Muslim and Christian minority religions, Christians.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Some people say 99, but I think the country of Bhutan is the most Buddhist country in the world, where it is something like 99.
Oh, really? We talked about this, and I thought there was way more Muslims than there are actually.
There's not as many as you think. Yeah, I think Muslims, Christians make up 5-6%, something like that. Like Christian, Muslim, Sikh, it's only 5 or 6%.
Okay, this none I had no idea. I guessed. Which judicial body holds the specific authority to rule on whether a prime minister has exceeded the constitutional 8-year term limit? The Supreme Court, the Constitutional Court, the Administrative Court, or the Privy Council? I guessed B, the Constitutional Court. No idea.
Yeah, good guess. Yeah. So, I mean, especially since it's the Constitutional Court that's been invalidating people. So this one, was close to a gimme, I think.
Right. Seems to be a trend of late with the highest courts in the land making bizarre proclamations. All right. The Bank of Thailand was officially established as the nation's central bank during which decade? The 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s, or the 1960s? I put B, the 1930s.
I blew this. I assumed it had to be later, but the correct answer is in the 1940s. And I was just thinking, wait, that was the middle of the war.
Really?
I blew this. Yeah. So I think I said the 1960s, but the correct answer is the 1940s. And so this is one of these ones that, I almost deleted it from the quiz because who's going to know the history of the Thai Central Bank? But I wanted to put some hard questions in there. So apparently, I think it was immediately post World War II. So 46.
I thought it would have been way earlier than that.
Yeah, right.
All right. The 1997 Constitution is famously referred to by what name due to its origins in public consultation? The Royal Constitution, the Military Charter, the People's Constitution, or the Reform Act? And I believe for this one, I put C, the People's Constitution.
Correct. Probably the best constitution Thailand's ever had.
Really? Is that objective or subjective?
Objective, damn it. My subjectivity is objectivity, Mr. Bird.
Okay. In terms of total land area, where does Thailand rank globally? 10th, 25th, 50th, or 75th? I put C, 50th.
Yeah, it's a good guess. This one's harder than expected. Thailand it's not tiny, but it's not as huge as you think. I think you can, if you take Thailand from top to bottom, it almost fits inside of Texas. So I think it stretches like a little bit further, but the U.S. is gargantuan compared to Thailand. Same with Canada.
So it's 75th?
No. It's 50th.
50th, sorry.
Yeah. So the correct answer is C. Yeah. You got it right.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, Thailand is about the same size, the same as the same height as my home province in Canada as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. In the most recent Program for International Student Assessment rankings, Thailand's score in math and science were above the OECD average, below the OECD average, number 1 in ASEAN, or ranked in the top 10 globally. And I put B, they were below the OECD average.
Yeah, OECD is the Organization of Economically Developed Countries. And so it's a lot of European countries. And a lot of people assume that Thailand is really high in math and science, but it's actually not ranked that high if you look at the whole country.
Yeah.
This is the classic inequality. If you look at Bangkok schools, the average is pretty high, but if you include the whole country, the average is not great. And so it's not going to be number 1 in ASEAN. That's going to be Singapore. It's not going to be in the top 10 globally. So correct answer is B.
All right. What is the current minimum voting age for Thai citizens in general elections? 17, 18, 20, or 21? And I put B, 18.
Correct. Yeah. So most of my students can vote. I was just chatting with one student who he is a freshman, but only 17, so he can't vote.
Sucker. All right. The Eastern Economic Corridor project focuses on industrial development in which 3 provinces? Chonburi, Rayong, and Chachoengsao, Bangkok, Samut Prakan, and Nonthaburi, Chiang Mai, Lamphun, and Lampang, or Phuket, Krabi, and Phang Nga. And I put A, Chonburi, Rayong, and Chachoengsao.
Yeah, if you just know a little bit of geography, it's got to be A.
Yeah. Chachoengsao was a guess, actually. I don't really know exactly where that is, but definitely.
It's just to the east, yeah.
Yeah. How many successful military coups has Thailand experienced since the transition to a constitutional monarchy in 1932?
More than you would think, yeah.
5, 9, 13, or 18? And I put C, 13.
Correct. 13 successful ones.
Successful coups.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Thailand is often described as being stuck in the middle income trap. What does this primarily refer to? High levels of national debt, stagnating growth before reaching high income status, a lack of natural resources, or high inflation rates? And I put B, stagnating growth before reaching high income status.
Yeah, again, this is one you could probably guess, even if you're not an economist. I just talked about this in my class. Thailand economically is not doing poorly, but it more or less stopped growing seriously about 20 years ago. So it's kind of it's this problem where they're stuck in the middle. So they're not Cambodia, but they're also not South Korea either.
Yeah, middle income trap.
Yep.
Which sector is currently the largest contributor to Thailand's GDP? Agriculture, mining, services including tourism, or manufacturing? I put D, manufacturing.
Yeah, this is tricky. The correct answer is actually services, which includes tourism, but services also includes the entire retail sector. So a lot of people don't realize. So that sector alone is bigger than things like manufacturing. Now, when you're talking about the export sector, that's different in terms of exports because of the hard drives and electronics is number 1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Hard drives, electronics, and cars.
Yeah, so this is the GDP in general. So services are the largest single sector.
Okay. What is the approximate adult literacy rate in Thailand? 75, 88, 95, or 100%? I put C, 95% or higher.
Yeah, that's the best guess. It's not going to be 100, but it's going to be higher than 88.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Considering how hard Thai is to read, that's not bad. How many different constitutions and charters has Thailand had since 1932? 10, 15, 20, or 25? I put B, 15.
Yeah, it's actually 20. So the current one is the 2017 one is the 20th. So 13 successful coups, 20 different constitutions. Yeah, this is the problem that again, just talking to my students about it. So hopefully we can get some stability.
Round and round we go. Which region of Thailand is the most populous? The south, the north, the northeast, or Isan, or the west? I put C, Isan.
Yep, that's the basic math that got Thaksin elected.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good callback. All right, Thailand's total fertility rate, average births per woman, is currently estimated to be approximately 0.5, 1, 2.1, or 3.5. And I put C, 2.1, but I think that was probably wrong.
Yeah, so correct answer is 1. So Thailand is one of many countries, especially Asian countries, where the birth rate has dropped below the replacement rate. So I think 2.1, which you chose, that's the normal rate to keep your population steady.
Right.
And Thailand is below that, but it's not 0.5.
Right.
So correct answer is B, which is 1.
Nice one. What is the current median age of the Thai population? 25.5, 32, 41.5, or 50? And I put B, 32 years.
Yeah, so correct. This is one that's kind of a rough guess. So Thailand is getting older again, so there's not enough kids, but 50 is not the median yet. So it's 41.5.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so it's still relative. That's still fairly old.
Still younger than me, damn it.
Yeah.
On the Thai national flag, what does the white stripe represent? The nation, religion, the monarchy, or peace? And I put B, religion.
Yeah, so I think this one also is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that was also on the Thai citizenship test. Heads up to anyone who does that.
There you go.
Yeah. Thailand's Gini coefficient, which is a measure of income inequality, indicates that the country has the lowest inequality in Asia, moderate to high income inequality, perfect wealth distribution, LOL, or no measurable inequality. I put B, moderate to high income inequality.
Yeah, again, the answers made this one a little bit pretty easy to guess.
Yeah.
It's everyone knows Thailand has an inequality problem, so it's definitely not going to be the lowest inequality in Asia.
Right.
So yeah, it has pretty high income inequality.
That's good. Although I've heard the phrase Gini coefficient before, but I've never really understood what it meant. Now I do.
Yeah, it's just a formula they use that tries to give one number to explain how unequal the country is.
Famously developed by Harold Gini. No idea. I'm just making that up. Okay. In 2024, Thailand became the first country in Southeast Asia to pass legislation legalizing nuclear energy, same-sex marriage, compulsory military service for women, or cryptocurrency as a sole national currency. I put B, same-sex marriage.
Boom, same-sex marriage. We got that going for us.
Yeah. Now we got to combine all those and have nuclear, same-sex, cryptocurrency, military
compulsory service.
Yeah, let's just be unstoppable. Bangkok is unique in Thailand's administrative structure because it is not a province, but, now this is a question specifically for Scott the Pedant,
That's
a
right.
federal territory, a military district, a special administrative area, or a sovereign city-state, and I put C, a special administrative area.
Boom, baby, that is correct.
Yeah, nice. Okay, estimates for the number of migrant workers in Thailand usually range between 100 to 500,000, 1 to 2 million, 3 to 5 million, or 8 to 10 million. I put B, 1 to 2 million. It's really difficult to figure that out.
Yeah, it's more than that. So since the total population is between 65 and 70, 8 to 10 would be absurd. So like it can't be that. And then it's going to be more than 100,000 to 500,000. So it's basically B versus C. So it's either 1 to 2 million or 3 to 5. And according to the data, it's 3 to 5 million, which is a lot. There's just a ton of Burmese and Cambodian workers.
Right. All right. What is the current mandatory number of years for compulsory education in Thailand? 6, 9, 12, or 15? I put B, 9 years.
That is correct. So it's a little bit confusing because the Constitution, I believe, guarantees access to 12 years. So it kind of says like you have a right to 12 years of free education, but you're only required to go through 9th grade.
Aha, there's a loophole. Academic research identifies the root cause of the seasonal PM 2.5 air pollution in northern Thailand as coastal salt spray, agricultural and forest burning, volcanic ash from Indonesia, or lack of wind in the Gulf of Thailand. Obviously, I put B, agricultural and forest burning, despite those bastard volcanoes popping up from time to time.
Yeah, we've done shows on this. Construction plays a role, and there are other factors, but it's mostly the dam burning.
Dam burning. Where does Thailand's economy, aka the nominal GDP, rank globally as of the 2024-2025 estimate? 15th, 26th, 42nd, or 55th? I put B, 42nd. 26th.
Yeah, that is correct. So again, this is a really good lesson that I was just kind of hammering with my students, that out of around 190 to 200 countries in the world, in terms of the size of the Thai economy, it's 26. Like that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
It's not bad.
The current 2017 Constitution places what maximum term limit on the position of Prime Minister? 4, 6, 8, or 12 years? And I put A, 4 years.
Yeah, it's actually 8 years, but that became an issue with Prayut, like whether he could stay on or not.
Right.
So it's kind of a 2-term limit. It's kind of copying the U.S. 2-term limit.
Interesting.
So it's 8 years.
Okay. In terms of GDP size, within the ASEAN region, Thailand currently ranks first, second, fourth, or sixth. I put B second.
Yeah, that's correct. So I think, what did we decide, though? The first one is Indonesia, right?
I thought it was either Indonesia or Singapore, but...
No, Singapore has a big GDP for its size, but it's too small.
Yeah. Okay, so probably Indonesia.
Indonesia's huge.
Yeah.
So I think Indo's number 1 and Thailand's number 2.
Yeah, okay. Global climate indices frequently rank Thailand among the top 10 countries in the world most vulnerable to desertification, volcanic eruptions, long-term climate change impacts, acid rain, or a lack of lap mu, which is my favorite disc. No, I'm just kidding. I made that last one up. I put C, long-term climate change impacts.
Yeah, again, I think the answers give this one away. But we know that Bangkok is sinking and the river is rising. And that's a bad combination.
Not good. Which of the following is the highest mountain peak in Thailand? Doi Suthep, Doi Luang Chiang Dao, Doi Intanong, or Phukadung? And I put C, Doi Intanon.
Correct. I think some people think Suthep. Those are the two that people confuse, but it's Intanon is the tallest, right?
Yeah, years and years ago, I was living in Chiang Mai and I rode a motorcycle up Doi Intanon, just like a little exploration of the area, which was a great solo trip by myself. And I was on my motorcycle in shorts and a t-shirt, and dude, I got up to the top of Doi Intanon and it was freezing cold.
Oh, really?
It was so cold. There's a military base on top of there, like a radar station, and the soldiers walking around had like Russian fur hats on. Like,
oh, funny. That's great. That's great.
I almost died. All right. What is the second largest religious group in Thailand? I whiffed this one. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, or animism? I put C, Hinduism.
Yeah, no, it is Islam. I thought this one was more of a gimme. Animism is tricky because it has a big influence on Thai people and Thai culture, but I don't think there's really a separate cult or like a separate. We're animists. We're not Buddhists. I don't think that's a thing.
Right.
So correct answer is Islam is the second.
I put Hinduism just because it has such a huge influence on Thai culture and history.
Correct.
So I figured there must be a ton of Hindus here still, but I guess they're still fairly small.
Not many, yeah.
Yeah. What is a major red flag economic indicator for Thai households as of 2024? Lack of access to credit, high household to debt to GDP ratio over 90%, high personal income tax, or low rates of smartphone ownership.
It's not D. It's not D.
I put B, high household debt to GDP ratio, which I know is correct because I've been reading.
That is correct.
That. Yeah.
Thai people borrow a lot of money. They got a lot of credit card debt.
Yeah, not good. Debt, bad. One of the hardest lessons I've learned.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. What year did Thailand implement its universal health coverage system? 1990, 2002, 2014, or 2020? I put B, 2002.
That's right. Again, that's what Thaksin got credit for.
Yeah, that's right. Which of the following is Thailand's largest export category by value? Rice and rubber, machinery and electronics, textiles and garments, or crude oil? This is a really hard one. I put B, machinery and electronics.
Yeah, that's right. So that's kind of what we were talking about. It's, I think a lot of people know about the hard drives.
Yeah.
But Thailand also makes heavy machinery. It's something that I think a lot of people don't know about. But, industrial machines that go into other factories, Thailand manufactures those and exports a lot of them. So I think the trap answer here is going to be something like rice and rubber.
Yeah.
So rice and rubber, Thailand does export a lot, but they export more machinery and electronics.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What is the approximate life expectancy at birth in Thailand for 2024? 68, 77, 85, or 92? I guessed B, 77 years.
Yeah, that is correct. 85 is just pushing it as the average, right?
Yeah, right.
So 77, correct answer.
Okay. The labor force participation rate for women in Thailand is approximately 20%, 40%, 60%, or 90%. I put C, 60%.
Good guess. I mean, Thailand famously has high employment of women,
Yeah.
but 90 would be kind of absurd. You know, the idea that 90% of women are working.
Yeah.
So, and 20% is too low. So again, it's between 40 and 60. So correct answer is C.
C, 60%. Yay me. All right, second to last question. How many Thai provinces have a border with Cambodia? 5, 6, 7, or 8? And I totally guessed on this. I put C7.
Yeah, this is kind of tricky, man. If you try to, so when I gave this to my students, it was kind of funny because they were sitting there, you know, counting it off on their fingers, like bam, 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 and I know the answer to this from a previous trivia question, so I know the answer is 7, but if you try to name them all, it's kind of hard.
No, I would not be able to do that.
It's like Surin, Ubon Ratchathani. I think Chacheng Sao is one of them. I don't think I could name all 7, but the correct answer is 7.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. And the last question. How many administrative provinces does Thailand currently have? 72, 75, 77, or 81? And I put C, 77.
Yeah, that should be a gimme, hopefully. So for listeners out there, you got to know 77.
77, that's the magic one. And that's it. Man, we flew through that. 41 minutes we've been recording as of this moment.
Yeah, so I guess this was kind of semi-academic, but I am an academic, so that's what you get when you listen to a podcast with someone who's a lecturer. But again, my students did not crush this. They didn't crush it.
What was the average from your students?
I'd have to look it up, but a lot of students got 28, 32, 35, 38. So, I mean, I think I think that your score is better than the average of my freshman Thais.
Okay.
Which it kind of should be because I hesitate to call myself an aficionado, but we're into Thailand, we're into Thai stuff. We've been here a long time. We've traveled around the country.
Yeah.
And we have the podcast. So we should, I'm not sure, I'm curious. I should give, okay, this is the interesting thing. I'm going to give this quiz to some of our Thai friends who are closer to you and I in age.
Right. Yeah. Like we were saying, we've been here being interested in Thailand and
longer than my students have been alive.
Yeah. And learning about Thailand longer than they've lived here.
That's right. You know, I was traveling around Thailand 6 years before my students were born.
Jesus. God,
so the idea that I would know more about Thailand, it's not as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're smarter. It just means you've been here longer. But still, I'm
Correct.
throwing down. I got 36 out of 50.
That's
Listeners, if you want to click in the show notes, go take the quiz. Make sure to untick the box in the answer key when you're done so the next person can do it because it's just like a Google Doc that you can uncover the answer kind of thing. But
right.
Yeah, great quiz, man. Very broad topics. I really liked it.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some love, loathe, or live with, where one of us picks a particular aspect of living in Bangkok, which we discuss to decide if it's something we love about living here, loathe about living here, or have come to accept as something that we just have to learn to live with no matter how we feel about it. And this time, Ed, I got a question for you. When you take taxis a lot more than I do, but when you get into a taxi and the driver is wearing flip-flops, what's your take on that?
Interesting. I'm not sure I would usually notice it, but I am cognizant of how, I don't know what the right word is. It's certain taxi drivers have kind of a crazy kind of rough edge to them that always sets me off. Uh-huh. And there's certain taxi drivers that you just immediately feel like, okay, they're professional and normal and they're going to go the route that I want them to go. Yeah. They're going to follow traffic laws. And then sometimes you get in and there's just something edgy or about them where, sometimes I don't get in. Interesting.
But specifically the flip-flops.
Would it put me off?
I'll give you my opinion on it. I loathe it because I've driven with flip-flops a few times and I think they're really dangerous. Like
I understand. Yeah.
It's easy to get it caught under the brake or under the gas pedal and between your foot and the flip-flop, and I think it's just an accident waiting to happen. So I hate it. I loathe it when they do it.
Interesting. So I'm gonna have to say I'm just a live with. So it's the kind of thing where I might look a little bit askance at it.
Okay.
But I think I judge them. There's something about kind of how they address me. It's hard to explain. I take I've taken more than 10,000 cab rides.
Oh, wow.
And for me, a lot of my reaction is how comfortable they look like they are with foreigners. And it's, I don't know, I guess I focus on mostly on professionalism, and I agree. Like flip-flops they don't scream professionalism.
Yeah. I tell you, by the time I came back from Japan one time, and we took a few taxis in Japan, and of course, the doors open automatically, and the drivers wear gloves and a hat, and they're just absolutely pristine. And then I landed in Suvarnabhumi, and I came down to the airport, and I got in a taxi, and the guy he had bare feet.
Oh, shit.
He was wearing like a wife beater and had a big bag of fried grasshoppers on the console next to him, and he was chewing.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
I was like, oh my God, how to tell you're back in Thailand.
That's actually great. Well, I'm going to have to be honest here. I think I would judge them more by their attitude or maybe other things about their appearance, but I get your point. I'm going to go live with.
Carry a roll of duct tape. Just tape those flip-flops to the bottom of their feet and keep you safe.
All right, a final thanks to our patrons who support the show. Patrons get a ton of cool perks and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that they're helping in our never-ending quest for cool content. Find out more by clicking support on our website. And connect with us online. We're Bangkok Podcast on social media, bangkokpodcast.com on the web, or simply bangkokpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners and always reply to our messages. Unless, of course, you're an agent who sends endless pitch emails on behalf of a client.
That's right. You can also listen to each episode on YouTube. Send us a voicemail through our website. We'll feature that on the show. I am on Blue Sky, where I am BKK Greg. Thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll see you back here next week.
No doubt.